Do you support everything that's in the bill sitting on the table, sir?
Well, this is a work in progress, and we'll work with the House and the Senate in this process. As you know, it's a legislative process that occurs. I'm glad you pointed out the bills on the table.
Can you guarantee that this plan will not have a markedly negative impact on the deficit or result in millions of Americans losing health insurance?
What I can say is that the goal and the desire, I know, of the individuals on the Hill is to make certain that this does not increase the cost to the federal government.
So let's go to the Hill and bring a member of the Oversight and Government Reform Committee, Republican Congressman Jim Jordan of Ohio. He's a co-founder of the Conservative House Freedom Caucus and served as its first chairman. Congressman, this is sort of old as the hills as it goes in Congress. We always knew when they were trying to pass something by us because they draft it in secret, they drop it, say we're going to sign it, mark it up in committee tomorrow, and then we're going to vote on it next week. I mean, they're going to
vote on it. They may vote on it today.
Maybe.
Joe. I mean,
well, I mean, so this is no way to not only pass health care, but any legislation, especially legislation you call Obamacare light. What are you going to do to stop it?
Well, look, you're right. It came out 36 hours ago, and they're going to mark it up and vote on it in committee today. And the American people have only seen it for 36 hours. Their representatives have only seen it for 6 hours. So let's do this right, and more importantly, let's do what we told the voters we're going to do. That's why today I'll be introducing legislation which just says clean repeal. Let's vote on the exact same thing 15 months ago. Every single Republican in the House, every single Republican in the Senate voted on. We put it on President Obama's desk. Of course, he vetoed it. But let's put that same legislation on President Trump's desk and then work on the replacement model that will actually bring down the cost of insurance. I don't think the plan they introduced yesterday is going to bring down the cost for working class and middle class families.
So, Congressman, how many conservative members do you think you have with you? Obviously, Heritage is on your side. Freedom Works is on your side. How many conservative Republicans do you have with you right now?
Every conservative group out there is opposed to this legislation because, as I said yesterday and others have said, I think it's Obamacare in a different form because we didn't tell the voters we were going to repeal Obamacare but keep some of the Obamacare taxes. We didn't tell the voters we were going to repeal Obamacare but keep and extend Medicaid expansion. And we certainly didn't tell the voters we were going to repeal Obamacare but start a new entitlement, which this bill does.
Does it pass if it goes on the floor?
I don't think it could pass today. I mean, we had our meeting last night with the House Freedom Caucus, and the opposition in there was strong to this legislation. So this needs to be changed in a dramatic way for it to have a chance to pass, in my judgment. But the simplest thing to do is what unites Republicans. Pass the clean repeal. We all just voted for that a few months ago. And again, this is what Americans hate. We campaign on one thing, and then we get here and say, oh, we can't do what we campaigned on. We really can't do a clean repeal and then replace it with something that's going to bring down the cost. We got to mush it all together and do some different form of Obamacare. That's what the American voters hate. Let's do what we told them we were going to do. Let's do what they sent us here to do and what they expect us to do.
So, Congressman, we just had Secretary Price, we played a clip, and he said what this bill would do, proposed bill would do, is no increase in cost to the federal government. When you're buying a washing machine, you want to know what the cost is. So, has anybody told you what the cost of this bill is? What's the cost?
We don't know because CBO has no score, and I'm not, but put that aside for a second. Even if you don't have the CBO score, look at the four corners of the document, read what it says. I think it's not going to bring down the cost of premiums for working class and middle class families. That's why I oppose it. I think it's Obamacare, as I've said, Obamacare in a different form. That's why I oppose it. But it would also be nice to have a score. I can't believe the score won't be high because when you're extending and expanding the Medicaid expansion, when you're starting this new entitlement called advanceable refundable tax credits, when you're doing all that, I've got to believe that's a cost to the federal government. But apart from that, just look at what it does. It keeps the federal government in control of how this thing works, the exchange and that sort of thing. That's the wrong approach because we've seen how bad Obamacare has been for the American people the last 6 years.
Congressman, deconstruct this for your constituents back in Ohio and for the viewers of this show. Why are Paul Ryan and Mike Pence, two people with long records, longer than yours, I think, of supporting conservative health care reform, just because they've been around longer, why are they supporting this if it's so unconservative?
You know, you'd have to talk to them about that. All I know is what I've told you about what the legislation does. We have a kind of a cross section of views in our conference, so it could be driven by that.
Why are they doing it? Why are they trying to appease the Senate? Are they not as conservative as you on health care reform? Why are they supporting it?
I'll let you draw that conclusion. I do know that there's, 4 senators that came out yesterday and want to make sure this Medicaid expansion is there and actually extended and expanded even more based on the letter we got from, we saw from 4 senators yesterday. So it could be all that. But again, I come back to the simple thing. What did we tell the voters we're going to do? You know, we make this job way too complicated. You're supposed to do what you told them you're going to do what they elected you. When they gave us the privilege to serve, we're supposed to do what we told them to do when they gave us that privilege. So let's do that. The simplest and most direct way, and the thing that unites Republicans, is clean repeal. After all, every single one of us voted for it just 15 months ago. Yeah. So clean repeal, then we can have the debate on what should be in replacement. And then for the senators who sent the letter yesterday and those of us in the conservative, we can work that out. But let's do clean repeal first, and that's what we're introducing today.
Steve Ratner.
But then after clean repeal, as you know, there are 26 million Americans participating in Obamacare. So after clean repeal, what would your replacement plan look like to deal with these 26 million people?
It would put in place policies that will bring back affordable insurance. That's the big problem right now. If people can afford the premiums, they can't afford the deductibles. Fewer choices, higher cost is what Obamacare has given us. We want those policies like expanded health savings accounts, interstate shopping, easier formation of association health plans, tax deductibility on the individual market side so that you begin to equalize treatment for folks who get their insurance in the individual market with those who get employer-sponsored plan insurance. So that's what we want to do. Those kind of things will bring down the cost, and most importantly, you get at all the regulations which drove up the cost of insurance. Never forget what Obamacare did. It said mandates, taxes, and regulations drove up the cost of insurance, told every American you have to buy it, and if you don't, there's a penalty. That's what we have to get away from.
You know, Congressman, I just don't know how any real conservative can vote for a bill that affects 1/6 of the economy and 1/2 of the federal budget without knowing how much it costs. I mean, we would absolutely destroy Democrats politically if they ever did it. Thank you so much for being with us, Congressman.
Thank you.
Good luck, and we hope to see you on the show in the next